George Allen, we talked about the jerseys. Do you think there could be any gamesmanship in that?
There could be, Vinny. I doubt it. If you have a good football team, you can play no matter what the jersey is. The Rams normally would be in blue, and the Vikings would be in white.
Fellas, one question that you rarely hear discussed before a game is the toss of the coin. George, did you have any instructions? Did you like the call, or did you like to have the other team call?
Vinny, when we lost about 4 times in a row, I once told Lenny Hoss, see if you can't use good judgment and make the correct call.
Jim, what about you? Ever involved in the toss of the coin?
Yes, Vinny. I'm superstitious, as I said earlier, so I always call heads. I thought heads was positive. I went with the positive, you know.
I think if I were a head coach, I'd get a mathematician to get the law of probabilities on heads and tails and then do a little study on receiving. Right now, Jim Marshall, 41 years old yesterday, number 70, and Mike Tingelhoff, the veteran center, 240 starts for Mick, and he's out there, number 53. The Ram captains, and there are a lot of them. Tom Mack, Willie Miller, Ron Jesse, Dennis McClain, and Jack Youngblood. Coach, they're shaking hands.
Yes. That's a good sign. I like the players to shake hands. Once in a while, if they wouldn't shake hands.
Minnesota, you're the visitor. Which one to call the toss? Call it in the air. You called heads. It is heads. Your choice. You will receive. Which end will you kick for? Minnesota won the toss. Will receive. Gentlemen, let's play football.
So Jim Marshall called heads, won the toss, and the Vikings will receive.
Vinny, I started to say once in a while when the opposition wouldn't shake hands, we'd always let our players know that.
Anything, George.
Ray Malavasi, in his first year as head coach, 48 years old, out of Passaic, New Jersey, trying to break the so-called Viking jinx. And here it is. 69, the Vikes beat the Rams in a championship. 74, again in 76, last year in the rain. The Rams are also frustrated one more time. In 1975, Dallas knocked them all over Los Angeles in a championship game.
You know, these first few plays, this opening kickoff, are so important. The Vikings have been starting slowly, bad field position, making mistakes. They have to start fast to stay in this ball game and not get behind like they have the last couple of weeks.
Going deep for the Vikings is Robert Miller along with Brent McClanahan. We'll see Kevin Miller, number 87 usually, but not right now. And Washington, number 80, is wide right. Teeing up the ball is the top scorer in the NFL, Frank Corral. And boy, what a year he has had for the Rams. Corral has won 3 games. He beat the Eagles with 7 seconds to play, the Tampa Bucks with 3 seconds to play, the 49ers with 2 seconds to play. And here we go. It'll be Miller from the 3 to the 15 to the 20. And down he goes at the 20-yard line, where the Vikings will put it in play. Carl Eckern making the hit to start it. Now let's take a look up front for Minnesota. Myers, Goodrum, Tingelhoff, Hamilton, and Yeri. The wide receivers, first we'll look at the backfield. Fran Tarkenton with Ricky Young and Chuck Foreman. And the wide receivers, Ahmad Rashad, Sammy White, and the tight end, Bob Tucker. First and 10 Vikings on their own 20. Rashad and White going into a slot right. And Tarkenton putting it up, starting to roll right. Looking, throws a wobbler to Foreman, and he has it to the 34-yard line. And the Vikings come out throwing, and it's a first down. Let's check the Ram defense now. Youngblood, Jones, Brooks with a bad knee, and Dreyer up front. The linebackers, Jim Youngblood, along with Reynolds and Brodzinski. At the corners, you see Thomas and Terry. The strong safety is Dave Elmendorf, and the free safety, Bill Simpson. So the Vikings start out with a pass, and they have it first and 10 on the Vikings 34. Sammy White and Tucker, the tight end, go to the right. Rashad left. And again, Tarkenton looking and throws to Ricky Young, who is boxed in by Brodzinski and dropped by Jim Youngblood. And for Ricky Young, he caught 88 passes this year, #1 in the NFL.
Well, Tarkenton starting out with his strength. His first play was a sprint out. Now he's going to a drop back pass, looking downfield, nobody open, so he dumps it off to number 34, Ricky Young.
We talked about that earlier, George. You said he should probably come out and throw and not really try to establish a running game.
He's starting out very positive.
Second and 7. The ball on the Vikings 37. They started on their own 20. White and Rashad go right, and there's Foreman busting up the middle and drops just about the 40-yard line. Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker, along with Dave Elmendorf, the strong safety, coming up with a hit.
Foreman, Jim, needs a big game today. He needs to pick up around 100 yards for them to be a force in this game.
Yeah, he has to take some of the pressure off of Tarkenton. I mean, Tarkenton cannot carry the total team.
Rams are going into their nickel defense now.
3rd and 4 for the Minnesota Vikings. The ball on the Vikings 40. They've traveled 20 yards so far. White and Tucker go right. Rashad goes left. Ricky Young on a wing. Tarkenton lobbing it, and he's got his man Foreman. Foreman going to be dragged down at the 45, but he got away and moves across the 40-yard line. Fellas, Tarkenton is trying to chew him up.
I like Tarkenton's approach. He's coming right out. He's leading with his strength. He knows he doesn't have a good running game, but he's coming out and throwing that football. He's doing the things that they do well.
Something else he's doing, he's getting Foreman in the offense early. A lot of times he did not get Foreman in the offense early, and with Ricky Young coming from a new team, that could have a negative effect on a great back.
So the Vikings on a drive, 1st and 10 on the Ram 40-yard line. They've moved 30 yards in the early drive. Sammy White and Ahmad Rashad go right. Chuck Foreman over the right side. Trips and falls at the 37-yard line. Jack Youngblood. And at the bottom, Larry Brooks, sore knee and all. But Brooks said before the game he just had to play.
Well, so far, Vinny, the Vikings are starting fast. We said they had to start fast. The games that we've done 4 this year. They've been slow starters.
Well, they were trying to establish the running game first, and the theory is that you develop superiority, physical superiority at the line of scrimmage with your running game.
Robert Miller is now in there with Ricky Young as Foreman takes a breather. And it's intended and caught by Ahmad Rashad, and that's a first down just inside the Ram 30-yard line. A battle up front. You'll see Ron Yeri going head-to-head. There is Jack Youngblood and Ron Yeri, who played here, of course, for USC, keeping Youngblood outside, allowing Tarkenton to have time, and he had plenty of it to release it to Rashad for a first down. So the Vikings are on the move. They have the ball on the Ram 28-yard line. Rashad and White go left. Tucker, the tight end, on the right side. Young is in motion to the right. Play action fake to Robert Miller, and pass intercepted by Bill Simpson to the 25 and knocked out of bounds at the 30. Bill Simpson took it away from the tight end, Bob Tucker, and a big defensive play by Simpson, 5 years out of Michigan State.
Well, the Vikings use the motion on this. You don't see it. And Tarkenton tries to hit a seam pattern. The ball hangs a little bit, and Simpson comes over and picks it off.
So the key to it, Coach, is that the ball hung. He threw the ball badly. It was in the air much too long.
Ford technology creates the all-new Ford LTD. A new American road car designed for today's driving. This all-new LTD offers you more passenger room than last year. Yet the new LTD is sized for today, with easier handling and parking and a higher mileage rating. Discover a remarkable new LTD driving experience. The luxurious all-new Ford LTD. A new American road car at your Ford dealer.
A good quarterback does his homework on and off the field. That's probably why the three of us are all drinking light beer from Miller.
Hey, Light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
Plus, it tastes great. And you know it's important to have a command of facts like that.
It's mental discipline, really.
You're darn right. Because if you know every position, every option, every formation, you'll never get your signals crossed.
Hey, that's my beer, Terry.
Oh, no, this
yeah,
no, wait.
Well,
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I didn't peel my label.
Tarkenton talking to tight end Bob Tucker. The Vikings committed 51 turnovers this year, second to the San Francisco 49ers, and one pops up in the early going. Cullen Bryant is hit at the line of scrimmage, and great leg action. He refused to quit. And let's take a look now at the Rams up front offensively with Doug Franz, Tom Mack, Rich Hall at center, Dennis Harrell with a bad neck, and John Williams. The The wide receivers, Willie Miller, Ron Jesse, and the tight end is Terry Nelson. At quarterback, Pat Hayden. The running backs are Colin Bryant and John Capoletti. 2nd and 5, and they study on the sidelines, the Ram defensive unit.
Anything?
This is Capoletti, and as he cut at the 35, he appeared to trip and go down. That gives us a chance to look at the Minnesota defense. Mark Mulaney, Doug Sutherland, James White, and 41 years old Jim Marshall at right end. The linebackers, Matt Blair, Jeff Seaman, and Fred McNeil. At the corners, rookie John Turner replacing Nate Wright, who broke his arm against Oakland, and Bobby Bryant, Bill Wise, and Tom Hanna. 3rd and 2 for the Rams. The ball on the Ram 38-yard line. Hayden, then a release to Capoletti. Capoletti to the 40, still on his feet for a first down, and is knocked out of bounds with a flag on the play at midfield. So there's a flag on the play and hold everything. John Capoletti, the best game of his career was against the Vikings, but that was in 1976. And right now the officials, with referee Red Cashin, penalty will be against the Rams. In talking about the officials, amongst them 93 years of experience.
You know, Jim, on those flare passes, playing a team like the Rams, I always wanted my linebackers to play those flares real tight, because if you don't, that's just what happens.
Well, Capoletti's a good flare pass runner.
That's young Tommy Kramer, who was injured in October against the Rams and has not played again.
Offensive pass interference, number 81.
Against Ron Jesse. So the Rams, who capitalized on an interception by Bill Simpson and a 17-yard return, are pushed backward as 3rd and 12. The ball is just shy of the Rams' 28-yard line. So Hayden has to come up with a big play. Billy Waddy goes wide right. In motion is Jesse. Hayden scrambling like Carpenter. Now cranks up and lets it fly to Jesse. No good. The reason that Hayden had trouble was Mark Mulaney, number 77. Mulaney is 6 feet 6 inches, and you'll see double sevens hold his hands up like trees. That's Sutherland. And there's Mulaney. Watch.
Now, the Vikings today are in a 34 defense, only rushing 3 men. Sometimes that gives the quarterback a little more time to throw. Hayden scrambled well and saw the open man, and he was open. The ball was just off an angle.
Kevin Miller will now go deep as the Vikings safety on the Minnesota 30. Glenn Walker punting from his own 17-yard line. Kevin Miller falls on it, and he just did beat Larry Marshall. Marshall, number 44, came flying down there, with Kevin Miller able to recover on the Viking 36, where they'll put it in play. So in the early going, the Vikes drive broken up by Bill Simpson. We have 9:29 in the first quarter, no score. Vince Scully along with George Allen and Jim Brown as the Vikings have it in play. 1st and 10 on their own 36. Tarkenton rolling and then drills it, and he's got Rashad wide open. And Rashad gets away at the 40 and is dragged down from behind at the 33-yard line after putting a big fake on Pat Thomas. Bill Simpson bringing him down.
Yeah. Nobody does this better than Tarkenton. He's ready to throw on his first step. He's reading the defense. He's buying time to throw the football. He doesn't want to run. He's flooding the strong side. Big play to Rashad.
And you know something, Coach? When he rolls out, he nullifies so many things.
Rashad getting away from Jack Reynolds, pursued by Dave Elmendorf, but he moved it to the Ram 33. 1st and 10 for Tarkenton and the Vikes. No score. Francis to the right side, overthrowing the intended receiver, Ahmad Rashad. You know, we should point out as you look at the Vikings, it is hard to believe that there are 32 men gone from the 1977 Super Bowl team that represented Minnesota.
Get down our formation like we never left.
Exactly.
And fellas like Steve Riley and Ed White are gone, and they have been missed. 2nd and 10 on the Ram 33.